And here we go with another edition of the Kevin and Casey podcast.
Yay!
So glad you're along here.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Having fun
Well, I
doing
wasn't
it.
talking to you. I was talking to our listener, but I am glad you're here too.
I hope you're happy for me to be here.
Hey, if you ever want to get in touch with us, we have the Kevin and Casey hotline just waiting to hear from you. 856-318-9873. If you got a question, you want to comment on something we were talking about, maybe you have an answer for something we didn't have.
That's very plausible.
You never know, Or you can email Kevin and Casey. That's Kevin, Kevin, AND, and then letter K, letter C, at kevinhilly.com. I know you have a Facebook page. I look at your Facebook page all the time. Do you have a legacy account?
No, I didn't even know that existed.
So if you die, nobody's taking care of your Facebook.
No, and honestly, I don't even know if anybody would be able to figure out my password. So I don't know how
that's the whole idea with a legacy account. You tell somebody that you trust, hey, when I bite the dust, make sure my Facebook page gets
passed on.
Yeah, and updated, hopefully.
Which, I mean, that's a really neat opportunity. And I would say, so I got to thinking about this a little bit last night as I'm, middle of the night feeding the baby. And of course, here I am analyzing who I'm going to pass my Facebook account down to. And then the sad thing, I was like, oh, I guess my husband. Is that something?
Should be a no-brainer for you.
And I was like, but I don't know. My husband... There's a reason he has his own private, separate Facebook page. We don't have one of those couple pages where it's, Charlie and Casey.
Right.
No. He has his own and I have mine.
He doesn't actually have to have your password because they have a thing on Facebook where you assign him.
That's true.
As a legacy account.
So can you assign more than one legacy? Because here's my next question. So what if I assign him and him and I go at the same time?
You both go down in a plane crash. Right.
Or
a secondary.
Whoever I do assign it to, like say I would want my daughter to eventually inherit it.
Right.
Maybe not necessarily now. She's 6 years old, but okay. Who would I assign it to, and then how would they, can they pass it down as afterwards, or what if something happens to them, and then what happens to their account and the legacy?
How far into the future
I don't know.
Do you want your Facebook page?
You live each day as if you don't have tomorrow.
Here we are in the year 2718, looking at Casey Cloak's Facebook page. Actually, my wife is my legacy holder.
Okay.
And it's funny because she was surprised to hear. I mentioned it to somebody once when she was there, and she goes, "Oh, really? I am."
So how long have you known about this legacy thing? This isn't new?
A couple of years.
Oh gosh.
They've had
Wow.
Well, see what they do is they have a legacy account where people are chosen before death. And then to run your, and actually it is a good idea. I think it's genius. I know a couple of people who have passed on, and their spouse is now running.
Right.
And it's because every once in a while, you know how Facebook is. They never forget anything. They never forget a birthday or anything. And sure enough, so-and-so's birthday is today. Well, it's kind of sad.
It is.
But people will still post on there, hey, happy birthday, buddy. I miss you, whatever.
That's kind of neat.
Occasionally the wife will, or the husband or whatever, will post and say, hey,
been thinking about you.
Yeah, he would have loved this. She would have really appreciated that or whatever.
You're right. It's sad, but it's so... It is sweet. It is. I have a few of those friends out there that passed, and especially if there was some type of interaction we both had, it always appears on my time hop too.
Oh,
and it makes me wonder, like, oh yeah, I really miss her.
Yeah, you'll look at something, oh, this is your anniversary 3 years ago today.
Yes.
Here
that's
we were.
That's the sad thing too, and then you're like, oh my gosh, has it really been 7 years or 6 years?
That's true.
And just doesn't feel like it's been that long.
Facebook, in addition to the legacy things, they have something called a tributes section now, and this is fairly new. Okay, this is where it's a separate space on memorialized profiles where friends and family can share memories of a loved one. And the thing is, the person who is the legacy holder determines whether or not that gets put onto the page.
Gotcha. So they get to approve the post, basically.
Because you don't want after somebody's died, somebody else to post on there, hey, by the way, he owed me money.
Yeah. Or know what? Here's some of the awkward things. Like you have Facebook friends and then you have real life friends. And then sometimes they're not the same. And sometimes your Facebook friends don't pay attention.
Most of mine.
And I could tell you, I have seen on some of my friends that have passed, somebody will post something and I'm like, oh my God, do they not realize that they, died almost a year ago? Seriously, it's ridiculous.
Well, getting back to what you just said, though, honestly, and I looked at I have 600 whatever Facebook friends, and I use the word friends in quotes.
Yes, no, I'm with you.
The vast majority of them, I hate to say, I've never met in person.
Yeah.
I mean, easily half of them I've never met in person.
Gotcha.
Which is
But you're in
Kinda.
that industry, though.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true,
You really
yeah.
are. You've got a huge territory.
That's
and
true.
People like you.
My-
They really like you.
Thank you. My only thing with the legacy accounts on Facebook, and again, my wife will be the one, whenever I bite the dust, she'll be the one keeping it going for me. And I can't say this without sounding big-headed, but I'm sorry, her posts will not be as interesting as mine.
No,
Because
that's
I'm the
actually what I was
creative one in
trying to
our
imply
family.
with my husband. I mean,
So,
his post, yeah.
So
They'll
when she
be
hears this-
carpenter related, they'll be, I don't know, just gross boy stuff related. You know?
Casey never would have talked about this.
Political.
Right.
There's things,
Right.
like I said, there's
Exactly.
a reason why my husband has a separate Facebook page.
So when my wife hears this, she's going to be like, forget it. I'm not putting anything on your page now.
Right.
It's just going to sit there with your last stupid post that
That's
you made.
exactly right. Yep.
Or I'm
yep.
going to delete it.
Yes,
that's,
yes.
That's the other
It's
thing.
another
So-
option.
so, have you ever heard of walking meetings?
No.
Okay, John Tesh was talking about this recently.
Okay.
Apparently, it's like the big trend now where people will walk and talk. In other words, instead of sitting around a desk or a table,
Okay.
they'll go out and supposedly it's more beneficial. It helps stimulate
Well, sure it
brain
is.
activity. Or
You know, I'm just picturing, so every month, especially leading up to our big car show, in May,
yes.
we have a car show committee meeting, and that we fill up the boardroom at my office, and
Right.
there's about 15 individuals that sit on that committee. So I'm just now
Let's
I'm
go for
picturing
a
us
walk.
walking around Wilmore, especially the big hill that we've got on property. Let's all start walking and meet. Yeah, that
That's
would be
true.
interesting.
That's very true. Well, see, there are a number of issues with this. People have actually gotten injured
Oh, I could
going
yeah,
on walking
yeah.
meetings.
That
First
would
of
be
all,
me. I can't walk and talk at the same time if you
Well,
ask my mother.
You'd be a bad one, okay? So they say really it should be no more than 2 or 3 people at a time.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. People especially if you're walking with, like, say, the boss or you know, somebody's jockeying for position. Oh, I want to walk next to him or her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then they're fighting for that role.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on, do you really need to set up that kind of competition?
You know, the other thought that crosses my mind, I am so out of shape. So I can't even imagine, like, start walking and then it's like, okay, you do the talking because I'm trying to breathe right now. Let me catch my breath. I just, no. Yeah.
Let me hear your ideas.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I like that idea.
They report people have gotten lost
Oh.
on walking meetings.
And then how do you schedule it? Instead of here, let's meet at the park instead of
There you go. Very
That's
good. And they
interesting.
say you should have a predetermined route.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, it's like, hey, whatever happened to Josh? I don't know. He went out in the walking meters. That was 3 weeks ago.
I think I'm going to be behind the train on this thing. I'm looking at the standing desk still, so I haven't even advanced to
I
that
like
yet.
Those.
But I do too.
I think they're pretty cool.
I think so too. Honestly,
Yeah.
I get so tired of, especially certain days where that's all I'm at are meetings after meetings. I'm just tired of sitting. So
Although the problem with the standing desk, let me tell you, is if you're always standing there and then suddenly you're sitting, people are going to walk by and go, well, how come you're sitting? Like
well, luckily nobody sees me in my office.
Oh, okay.
I'll,
Say.
don't care if I'm standing or sitting.
Suddenly
Yeah,
you're
quit paying
lazy.
attention.
And one more thought on the whole walking meeting thing. Here's the reason I probably wouldn't like it, because nobody wants their boss to say to them, "Hey, walk with me." Whoa.
Well, yeah, that's like going to the principal's office.
This is not good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I'm watching my whole career flash before my eyes,
Well,
because
how do you take notes? I mean, how do you? I don't think there's any meeting I don't write something down. So
you got to keep that phone
hey,
next
can
to
we
you.
stop for just a second? Let me write that down. I need to walk 5 steps. Wait, can we stop just a second? Let me write
you're
that down.
defeating the
too.
whole purpose of the walking meeting. Exactly. Walking meetings. That's like the big thing now. You told me about this lady who found
Yes.
her purse.
Yes, 65 years later. Yes. Well, she didn't find it. The school did.
She lost it.
So I have the story here. Yeah. So in 1954, Marty Ingram Everett's black purse containing her checkbook, lipstick, school dance photos, and letters from 3 boys, including a junior prom invite, which I thought was so cute, ended up behind a cabinet in the science room at her school.
1954.
1954. She was 16 when she lost it. Okay. Which, how in the world? Anyway, a
Yeah.
teenager, how do you lose a purse?
How
But,
do you lose? I don't know. Aren't they like glued on permanently?
Usually, but maybe not back in the 50s. So,
I don't know.
So there it sat, undisturbed for 65 years until last month when a construction crew came in and tearing out the cabinets for school renovation. They found it and gave it to the school district. So then the school district, which you got to love Facebook. So
Yeah.
the administrator
They
posted a
started
picture
yep,
on the school page,
yep.
and her son happened to see it.
Oh,
so
my
her son
gosh.
connected her with this woman, and they were able to return the purse to her. And she mentioned it was like opening up a time capsule.
Oh, sure.
But the fun thing is, so when the school posted pictures of the purse, they also posted pictures of the contents. There were 3 love letters in this purse by 3 different men. So it was really kind of cute.
That could be really great or
yeah,
really
it
icky.
could have gone really bad, but it didn't. The story, it just keeps getting cuter. So one of the letters, I'm just going to read a little cap here, and it says, "Dear Marty," which she went by Marty in high school. That was her nickname. "Bobby and I aren't going back together. Began a letter from a gentleman named Carter. I'm just continuing to walk her to class. She asked me if I would, and I told her that I would. I'm just trying to be friends with everybody." And then the other one, there was one other one from this Paul. It says, "Dear Marty, I've heard that Paul asked you to go to prom with him." Oh, that was from, another gentleman.
Oh, okay.
"If he hasn't, I would like it very much to take you. Love Torchy." So, prom invitation,
Right,
another love letter.
Right.
So the cute thing was, this particular post gained so much traffic on that school alumni page, and everybody, they
It's
were
now like a soap opera,
yeah,
right?
they were excited that the founder, they found her, but they're all asking, okay, so who did she go to prom with?
Right.
Who'd she end up
Everybody
going
wants
with?
to know the drama.
Yes.
Do we know yet?
They do, yeah. So
Okay.
they did reach out back to her, and she shared that her lucky date was Carter Williams, the one that clarified that he was just walking Bobby to her class. That's it. That he just wanted to be friends with everybody. He's now 81 years old. He lives in Phoenix, and they hadn't spoken since they graduated from high school. So they actually reconnected over this whole story. I mean, it went viral. And he said he was so thrilled to hear from her, this month, after she divulged who her prom date was, and the fact that they connected, 65 years later. She had a lot of fun going through the purse content.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
She was very, she shared everything that was in there. And
when you look
about-
at the pictures of what was in the purse, it really is like a time capsule.
It really was.
It's amazing.
And untouched, not even dusty or anything. I liked the ending, though. So one of the contents in her purse were like 5 tickets to the spaghetti dinner at her
at the
local
church.
church.
Yeah.
So they ended the story, she wondered out loud about 75-cent tickets for the genuine Italian church dinner. She said, "Do you suppose that they're still valid?" So what a sense of humor, but what a neat little
If I'm running
story.
the church dinner, you just come on in. We'll take care of you here.
Right.
And Carter will take care of your legacy account on Facebook. Okay, so you're all covered.
Carter's
here.
married, happily married. They did share that with
Is
several
he?
kids and several great grandchildren and all of that.
Now,
As she.
is Maggie, or what's her name?
She is a widow.
Marty?
So,
She's
Marty.
she's widowed.
She's
Okay.
a widow now, but huge family. I think they shared about several
Very
grandchildren
nice.
and great
There's
grandchildren too. But
There's a heartwarming wrap up to the Kevin and Casey podcast today.
and just hold on to your purse, or lose it and connect with
Or
it
find
65
out
years later.
75 years later. You ever lost anything that you finally found it and were just thrilled? Love to hear about it. You can
That would be an interesting one.
give
Yes.
us a call, 856-318-9873, or you can email Kevin and Casey, that's letter K, letter C, Kevin and Casey at kevinhilly.com. All right. That'd be great. And there you go.
That was it.
Another
Yes.
exciting edition of the Kevin and Casey podcast.